Hello, hi, welcome to Courtney Has Podcast, the very, very first episode. So I literally just recorded this with my mic on mute. So that's how we're getting started. Which honestly for me was exactly the point. I've been wanting to start a podcast for years. And as a recovering perfectionist, I was always trying to figure out like when was going to be the perfect time to start. Um, there's no such thing, y'all. There is no such thing as a perfect time to do anything. So today I decided, you know what? It's time. It's time to get this thing started and off the ground. I have so many hopes and dreams for this podcast. Nothing too lofty, but just the ability to express myself in a way that I really, really enjoy. So, to get started, I want to introduce myself. My name is Courtney Napier. I will be your host. I am from Raleigh, North Carolina. Not born, but raised. I was actually born in California. But I am a mom. I am a partner. I am a sister and a daughter and a friend. Those are the most important roles for me. And outside of that, I am a writer, a recovering journalist, still kind of out there a little bit, freelance journalist. I am a certified community resiliency model teacher, which I will talk about in later episodes, as well as a justice and belonging consultant, and finally, a intuitive guide. So that's a lot. I like to do a lot of things. What can I say? And now I'm going to add podcast host to the mix, which actually I've hosted a couple podcasts in the past. But I am really excited to do this. My favorite part about being a journalist was the interviews. Honestly, if my whole job was that, then I might still be doing it more often. And when it comes to writing, I love to write for myself. But I'm not, sometimes I have ADHD also, if you can't tell. So I get a little bored with the editing process and whatnot. I still enjoy it. I still enjoy being a writer. I write a lot for myself. I journal a lot. And you'll see my writing right here on my Substack. And we'll talk about that more in future episodes. But I just wanted to, let you know about me. Let you know what I'm into. I'm really into astrology and human design. I'm really into identity work. In the next episode, I'm going to be talking a little bit about my story with racial identity development and really healing the internalized anti-Black racism that I carried around as a young person, because that's a very important and integral story for me, and it brought me here. It brought me to a place where I've become very, very, very fascinated and curious about how people do and don't identify themselves in comparison with what their identities actually are and how they intersect. Those types of choices really fascinate me. They're very revealing, not in a bad way, but just like they say a lot about a person, the way they identify themselves. And it's a topic that's going to be hot for as long as we are in a capitalist, patriarchal, white supremacist society. It's just how it's going to be. Because that system sets us up to have really antagonistic feelings about the ways that we don't fit in and the ways that we don't live up to the white supremacist delusional ideology that presides over our current society right now. So, yeah, I love reading about that stuff. Some of my favorite authors, I am a reader, if you can't tell. Some of my favorite authors are Ta-Nehisi Coates. Honestly, was like my gateway drug to journalism, to learning about race and how racism manifests in a modern day sense. Frederick Douglass's slave narrative was absolutely life changing. Who else do I love? Oh, Audre Lorde and James Baldwin. They are my surrogate ancestors. They guide so much of the way my brain works, honestly. What my values are and how I see the world has been incredibly shaped by their work. And there's so many more people that I love, and hopefully I might have on the show, maybe. Who knows? I would love that, though, to have folks like that on the show to talk about their journeys. Speaking of the show, I want to talk a little bit about what this is going to be in the last couple minutes. So I will be talking about myself. I'm a Leo rising. I really enjoy talking about myself. Talking about my story, talking about my experiences, and the way I've grown and the way I hope to continue growing and changing and becoming. I also plan to interview folks to ask them about their journeys. I really am, again, so interested in understanding how people identify themselves and how that has impacted their choices and trajectory. And also flip-flopped, right? Vice versa, how their trajectory has impacted the way that they identify themselves. I'm really all about some healing. I'm all about some shadow work. I'm all about some self-love, radical self-trust, and collective liberation. So all of those things and more are what you can look forward to on Courtney Has Podcast. I don't really know how often it's going to come out. I hadn't even thought that far ahead. But we'll see. You know, I'm a mom of 2 kids. I work. And so it will come out when it comes out. But what I hope will happen is that we'll at least get an episode every other week. That is a cadence that I'm aiming for. Could be more, could be less. We'll see. I like to keep it loose and flowing. That was so funny. That was such a weird thing to say. Anyway, I am really happy to be starting this thing. I'm really happy to be starting it imperfectly with a completely soundless first intro that I'm currently replacing right now with this current a recording that I'm doing right now, and I'm really excited to see what you think. Please share in the comments your thoughts. I mean, if you're a hater, your comment's gonna get deleted. But if you're cool and you have ideas and there's things you might want to see, people you might want to hear from, topics you might want covered on the podcast, I want to hear all your ideas. I'm so excited to really build a community around this space. Building a community around this work and this space is something that I'm incredibly passionate about. And so I really, really want to hear from you, the listeners. Please introduce yourself to me. Let's connect on social media. I will absolutely follow you. I will absolutely be in your DMs. You can be in my DMs. I really want to get to know the people that are listening, and impact each other and build something beautiful collectively. So that's all for now. Look forward to another episode, a little bit more about my story in the coming weeks. If you want to be on a podcast, hit up the DMs, let me know. And with that, have a beautiful weekend, and we'll talk soon. Bye.